ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at texasmobilenotarymindy.com. That's TX, mobilenotarymindy.com. Thank you so much, and enjoy the show.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Yes, today we got Greg Duran.
How's it going? How's it going?
Buddy.
Heck yeah.
Man, okay, we met, we physically met, because we met beforehand through Cynthia Anderson, and then we actually hung out at that comedy well, it was more or less like a people getting together and having fun type thing.
You know, yeah, I really felt like yeah. It felt like just a bunch of bros just hanging out, like everybody like just hanging out, having a good time. We were drinking.
Dude, that's how it was at the end of the night. I mean, me, you, and Travis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cowboy.
Yeah, we were about to go. Or like, what time is it? Everybody was like, what time is it? Are you good? I was like, dude, I'd go home. I work nights, so I'm used to the nightlife. We were about to go to a bar and fuck shit up.
I know, right? We were already like, we were going to go to Dallas, weren't we? Or Fort Worth?
I think we were going to Fort Worth.
Yeah, we were going to try and do something.
You know how I was talking about horror movies and how most horror movies, all it is you got that light in the middle of nowhere and everybody like moths to a flame just goes to that.
Yeah,
that's where he had me drive to.
Homeboy, when you gave him a ride?
Yes. We went out in the fucking middle of nowhere, and there was one freaking. I told him, I was like, I specifically told you, this is a bad idea. Having one light in the middle of nowhere, and you go to it. I told you. He laughed his ass off. He was like, it was funny.
But that was his house you took him to, or where'd you take him to?
I think it was just a play date.
Oh, play date? Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, man, we better not get murdered, man. I swear, bro. This is exactly what I was telling you.
I always carry, so.
Oh, yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I thought. Then I was like, I went halfway up the road, going back.
Yeah.
Then I got out of my car. I was like, man, I gotta really go to pee. So I was just like, drive on the side of the highway, get it done. And as soon as I hear this, cha-ching, 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 I was like, nope, not today.
No, that's not today, Satan. You're not gonna get me.
Oh yeah. It was. I was like, I'm surprised I didn't piss myself.
For real, like that's a perfect environment for like Michael Myers to pop out, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Jason.
God. I got into the town and everything, and I ended up going to the gas station and taking a piss, and there was a cop inside. I was like, "Thank God you're here." He's like, "What happened?" And he noticed the gun. He's like, "Are you okay? Okay? What he's doing his copley duty. He did it more manly what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
But he saw I was like kind of freak out. I was like, "No, I went to go. I was out in the boonies, and I was gonna take a piss, and heard this fucking chain and stuff like that." He's like, "You sure it wasn't one of those metal fences?" I was like, "I don't care."
Yeah, no.
That's one of those moments because I know there's cops out there. They have their nope, not today moment. I've talked to cops where they went out.
Yes.
They pulled somebody over, and the guy literally told him, was like, "Hey, I got a python in the back." He thought it was like, "Oh, you're talking about some kind of dick." And he's like, "No, my snake got out, and I don't know where it's at." You have a good day, sir.
He's like, no, yeah, forget this. Cops are like,
Yes.
call animal control now.
Yeah. Well,
Nah.
he was like, "No, I'm not having this today. You just go ahead and go."
Yeah. That's awesome. Dang shit. No, I love that. What's up?
Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, I love that. I did love that barn though. I liked it. I actually stayed that night in the poker room on an air mattress, and it was cold as crap that night. Like I was freezing my butt off out there, but it was still a good night to be out there. I had a lot of fun.
Sometimes you got to suffer like that to have a good time.
Yeah.
I've always had those moments to where I'm suffering and everything, but when you're having like good company and everything, it makes it a whole lot better. There's a book that you should check out called The Endurance, and it's a telltale of Arctic. I think it was Antarctic or Arctica, but it was an expedition, and he chose it's more or less a book about leadership and everything. But he took this group, and they were gonna go explore the Arctic, and the first thing, the ship broke, and then they walked 2 years to get back to civilization.
Holy crap.
And this is 1910. 1912 that it actually happened, I think, because at the end of the expedition, World War I happened. Everybody survived,
Uh-huh.
and
Man.
it's just he picked the people he picked the people for their experience, but he also asked them like weird questions, like, "Well, are you a singer? Can you make people laugh? Can you do this?" And it was basically just a bunch of bros going out and finding their way home.
Yeah.
It's it's really good to think about stuff like that, because when you go in and you do something you're not really sure of, but you have, that group of people which you know you're gonna have a good time. You don't have like complainers and everything. I mean, when you go to a job site, you don't know the people there, and when at the end of the day, if the job really sucked, but everybody like came together.
Yeah. No, that's how it felt like. Everybody like at the end of the night, we like I said, we all had a good time and everything. And even though it was cold as crap that night, man, that's still best time I had. For real, it was cool. I liked it a lot.
I mean, I came back with that. That's one thing I like. I came back with a bunch of friends.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
No, next time for sure. We're gonna go out. Next time we'll have it ready. We'll do something.
Yeah. Man, I can't wait. Next time we do that, hopefully I can schedule a time off, because my next venture is there's a laser tag place in Plano, and me and my brother-in-law are gonna go to that, and we're just gonna take some of the kids and have some fun. It's like we were thinking it was gonna be like hundreds of dollars. It's like $20 a person. We're like, fuck yeah, let's do this shit.
Yeah.
Of course, me and him, we go a little bit above. It's like, so are we allowed to use like kids as human shields? I don't care. I'm gonna do it. Or fixed bayonets. Did these guys say fixed bayonets? They're a little bit too hardcore for us.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have your own kids. You can use your own kids as human shields. It'll
Yeah,
work
you
out.
think of your kids, it's kind of a faux pas,
Yeah.
but uh, so tell me the full extent of your comedy life right now, because you still have a job, but you're also doing comedy at the same time. How hectic is that?
Oh, like it's just sometimes I've literally like gone to shows like I get off of work and like I like have less than an hour to get ready, but luckily I got all my material lined up. It's crazy going, but it's fun at the same time, like I just was like at work, changing tires and everything. And now I'm over here making people laugh. It's rewarding whenever I go to do a show, like after spending like a 10-hour day, busting my ass. But I definitely like it happens so often. Like I'm always working the same day I'm doing a show. And if I'm not, then yeah, I can try and do an out of town job. I have to make sure I got a room or something, but it's fun. It's always fun, like doing trying to handle both. It keeps me sharp. It keeps me ready to go all the time.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people that do stuff like that, because it's doing this, because I'm up at work and I'm thinking, it's like, okay, I'm about to do a podcast tomorrow. I have to have X, Y, and Z set up.
Hmm.
I'm like writing down like things to ask, what's going to go on with their lives, uh, doing a little bit of research like in their lives and everything. Most people call it stalking. I call it investigation, because lawyers.
Okay.
But yeah, it's having a hobby that, I mean, one day I hope to take this in a big way, but I've I've come to the realization, just have fun with it. There's like a lot of people, they start up podcasts. There's a couple of people that started up a podcast like 2 years after I did it. They thought it was a good idea, but they stopped it after like probably a couple of episodes. If you look at the numbers, I'm on like 800, but I'm not really at 800. I'm at like probably about 400 on
Oh,
YouTube. If you look at it
yeah.
on YouTube, it's like 400, but you go to like you go to YouTube, it's like 800, because they doubled up on the stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like you go into like Spotify, it's only like maybe about, I think maybe I might have hit 500 episodes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but it's a learning curve for sure, because you can go to my first episodes and you're like, oh man, I don't know if I want to listen to this stuff. And then you go to the most recent episode, and he's like, man, it's like a 180. You worked on it, hard on it. And that's the same thing with like comedy. I mean, you're your best when you first started, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, like, yeah, like actually, when I first started, it took me like I thought I had it down, like because like I was always watching comedy shows all the time. But it just took a while to know like what I wanted to talk about, like actually what I wanted to joke about. And it took a while. Like I got a YouTube channel too, and you could see my first ones that I ever did. And then like you said, when you go further down to the videos, you can see how you got better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it took me like actually like I want to say a good 2 years doing comedy until like I could finally like yeah like now I know how to my jokes, how I write them down, and how I want to present them on stage now. So
Yeah.
yeah, just repetition, 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 like practicing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to do that.
No.
Yeah, that's what's so strange. I mean, uh when I took up like bow hunting, I was out there, man. I was out there to the point where I'm surprised I don't have to have shoulder surgery, because
Oh man.
I was just flinging arrows constantly.
Yeah.
And I was flinging arrows and tuning my bow. Then I found out, because I went to this tournament. I went to, well, it's not a tournament, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to yourself. It's basically, there's no like prizes or anything. They might have like little contests on the side, but there's no real, it's like golf, playing golf.
Hmm.
But Well, I took my bow in to have it checked out before I went to this tournament. And I was always wondering, it's like, why am I always like missing certain shots?
Mhm.
The person I went to at first to get my bow done had fucked my bow to the point where my arrows were like this.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Cause the actual guy like finally set it up right. He's like, hey, there's something wrong with your bow. I was
Yeah.
like, what's wrong with my bow? Well, one of the cams was chipped. Apparently I got sold a chipped cam. And
Oh,
he's like, "You have to buy a whole new bow." Luckily, at the time, I had like enough money saved up for this trip that I ended up like, "Oh, okay, I'll just buy a new bow. Just give me a bare bones. I already have the stuff. Give me a bare bones." Got me
yeah.
the bare bones, set it all up, all good. And I was like, "Man, this is easy." It was half, it was half training and half actual having a better equipment type
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. Like when I really started like practicing better and more, like I had to make a whole stage right behind me. You know, I made that
Yeah.
whole stage right here. I got mics. Me and my friends, like Chris will come over, or my buddy Ryan. We got even comedians that come from out of town. You know, like we'll all practice either here or at Chris's house, and or like I'll just like literally be going like I'm doing my whole act by myself in here. You know,
Yeah.
and just like how exactly like each each way I want to hit the jokes, each punchline how I want it to come out. So
Do you record those and then look it back?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, I'll record, yeah, just so that way I can catch anything. Like one thing I would always have trouble whenever I first started. I would say and like those words that you're supposed to keep out of.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
want
yeah,
to and like this, So I would record myself just so that way I knew like, okay, I got to get that out of there. I got to stop saying that because I'm just my buddy. He cusses all the time. I'm like, dude, record yourself. He's like, why? Because you literally throw the F bomb like 14 times throughout your whole show. Like you need to record yourself, and that way you can catch that. So that way you don't do that no more. Like sometimes, like I try and even keep cussing out. I don't like to cuss at all. Whenever I think I can be funny without cussing.
yeah. Uh, that that's the same thing with me. I mean, even right now when I'm doing
Yeah.
I edited my entire last podcast. I was like, because a friend of mine is like, man, maybe you should start like listening to your stuff.
Mhm.
Because he edited a couple of stuff for me. And I was like, dude, you say a lot. And
Yeah.
at first it was yeah, now it's changed to and I'm like cutting those out. I was like, in the last episode I did, I'll say it a little bit. Well, you hear a little bit, but I had to take a lot of it out because I would just say and then I was like, I'd give myself a pause so I know where to cut it.
Hmm.
And it basically it's bullying yourself
Yeah.
to be better.
For me, one time I was always saying basically all the time. Basically, basically. I was like, damn, I'm saying that like a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all it takes is to, yeah, it's always good to just watch your stuff and like really like fine tune it that way. Even like I can take criticism too. Like I can really like I'll throw my stuff out there. I'll send it to friends, like other comedians, and I'm like, don't worry about hurting my feelings. All right. Tell me what you see wrong with my act.
Yeah.
If you see something I can, do better, let me know. And my friends, they're like, okay, you sure? He's like, yeah. And they'll give me like a whole list. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, no, I do that. Yeah, all right.
You have good constructive criticism.
Yeah, good construction. I could definitely tell if somebody's just like shitting on my whole thing, but I'm like, no, like I got good friends and they're really like out there. We try and help each other out. That's one thing that is good. Like I got lucky to fall into a good community of comedians out here that we all have each other's back and we all try and help each other out. So
Now, are there times that because a lot of people nowadays they're trying to censor their stuff, the comedy stuff. because a lot of people are actually recording them on stage. I've actually seen some of the big time comedians that get recorded on stage, and a person would just go in and just trash talk them because that's how they make their money. I mean, that's honestly, there's some people out there, the only way they make their money is just to trash another person.
Yeah.
So, do you actually try to like self censor yourself, or you just like, you know what, fuck it, this is me?
Yeah, I mean, like, I really wish, like, it's just comedians. We're just trying to make jokes, like being censored by like what to say and what not to say. I mean, anything can be a joke, like anything could be a joke. And when you're trying to make people laugh, you're not trying to hurt people. You're not trying to hurt people's feelings, You're just trying to make people laugh. So being censored, I don't know, like it's it's a double-edged sword, It's kind of like I wish I could explain it more. I don't know. Like I'm not really worried about it right now, though. I mean, like what I'm doing stuff in like small towns. Well, San Antonio, I did something pretty big in San Antonio, and I wasn't really worried about being censored out there. Like,
Well, it's one of those things. Is a lot of the because I was listening to Joe Rogan. It's like he was talking about woke comedians and everything, and how they're just really not funny because they're not really pushing that edge.
yeah, no,
And that's the kind of comedy I like. I love the edgy stuff. I mean, I probably like someone actually literally tried to bust my movie knowledge on Blazing Saddles.
oh, Blazing Saddles, yeah,
Because okay, he was like, "Yeah, that was a Mel Brooks film." I was like, "Yeah, it was written by most of the stuff was written by Richard Pryor." He's like,
uh-huh.
"No, it wasn't." I was like, "No, it was Mel Brooks." And I explained everything. It wasn't like I know it, you don't. No, I
Yeah,
explained it. I was like, "No, Mel Brooks didn't feel that he could fully immerse himself in the black culture, so he had a black comedian write the black write most of the African American speeches and what would that would be funny for that time frame."
yeah,
And this guy just was like, "No, you didn't." I was like, Richard Pryor was supposed to actually play the black sheriff, but he had a little bit of a nose candy habit
yeah,
at that.
yeah,
And that was the whole reason why he didn't play it. And the person they got play it did it really good.
yeah,
But it was the basic fact that it was like you're you're literally going against me on something that I know prophetically because I researched that whole movie, how it was made. Uh I even know that they were going to make a TV show off of it
mhm.
because it was in the contract. But Mel Brooks made a shitty TV pilot and they had to trash it.
Oh, dang, that would have been cool to see it
It
come out like
it
that.
was a tit for tat because they wanted a sequel. It was one of those things. It would have been good, but you don't mess with perfection.
Yeah,
I mean, how many times have you heard that movie come in reference as the best comedy ever?
yeah, but yeah, and they went out there, they pushed the envelope right there on everything, like you said.
I mean, just the references alone I use on a constant basis. It's like, hey, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm just gonna go, rape some cattle and stampede some women. Uh, I mean, that's an instant laugh. And if
Yeah,
you
brother.
and that's a good way to find out a person's comedy because if they look like, why would you say something like that?
Yeah,
Well, I guess I can't talk to you. I mean, I have a conversation with you, but it's not going to be fun, I guess.
right. Like in the beginning of whenever I was doing my stuff, I was real dirty. I was really, really dirty. And I was just trying to like really like go after the low hanging fruit, of a joke.
Yeah.
Like real easy stuff, but dirty, Well, Chris, he's always been a clean comic, So he kind of trained me better on how to like really like, okay, you want to be dirty, but there's better ways that you can still be out there, but you can be cleaner, So I definitely I want to push the envelope. Like I had a joke I was writing, and I was like, I didn't know that. I was watching the new episodes of Masters of the Universe on Netflix.
You just finished those.
Yeah. And I was just like, I didn't know that He-Man. I thought that was his name the whole time, but turns out it was Adam. Is his real
You didn't
name,
know it was Prince Adam?
Yeah. Well, this is part of the joke. It was like I'm just acting like I didn't know.
Oh,
But
okay.
but yeah, like turns out, He-Man. Yeah, it turns out He-Man is his pronouns, so that's why
Ah,
they're getting us out there. They were preparing us for this already,
yeah.
Yeah.
Some fucking weird
I think I
thing.
said that. Yeah. So like I did that a couple of weeks ago, and it hit real good. Everybody knew. All right, yeah, we were preparing ourselves for all this pronoun stuff a long time ago.
Yeah. Hell, I had a comedian on one time, and we're talking about an actual case I was going on. I was being serious. When I'm being serious, I'm going out there. I'm giving you all the information. I
Yeah.
even if you make a joke, I don't register it when I'm being serious because I literally have to cut myself off because if I do joking and it goes off, and I'll lose track of being serious. It's the way my mind works, and
Yeah.
I know what it is, and I know how to do it. But if I'm focused with it, I'm focused with it. But I was talking about this case, and it was just a little thing that I was going over about this chick in New York. I went over a little bit with on one of the episodes when I was talking to him about it. I was like, because we were talking about transgender and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, but in a what gets me is I think the person, if they do something horrible, they lose that right. Even if a lot of people, because there was that shooting where the chick identified as a man.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Shooting, it was like probably about 6 or 7 months ago, maybe a year.
Mhm.
And there was another one that uh the man had identified as a woman. And the way he got caught, and this is like the second time he's murdered somebody. He had like the body in a shopping cart going through New York. That's how they caught him.
Wow.
And the guy was like, well, I said tranny. I was like, yeah, it was a tranny that did this. He's like, you mean transgender? I was like, no, you lose all respect if you do something horrible. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
y-
I get to say weird fucking shit now.
Yeah, for real. I mean, like they're doing like devil stuff. So like, yeah. I'm not gonna pronounce it the right way. You're a tranny. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got you. Hell yeah.
You do piece of shit stuff, you get treated like a piece of shit. No, there's other people out there and everything like that. No, I'll totally respect where they come from and everything. But if you do something
Yeah.
fucking horrible, you're getting the worst of the worst of me.
Yeah,
I
for
don't
real,
care.
man. That girl that identified as a man, she shot up a Walmart, didn't she? Or
No, she
what
shot
was
it
it?
up at school.
A school. Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. And I think there was like what was really messed up with the whole thing because it was 3 teachers and 3 children.
Mhm.
And they were saying these victims, there were 6 victims, and people were like,
Mhm.
"What about the 7th?" I was like, "Was there a 7th victim?" I'm
Mhm.
not dumb. I'm literally I'm stupid. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Was there a 7th victim? I thought that I read it was only 6. I'll give the person like a benefit of the doubt." And I started reading it.
Uh-huh.
The 7th victim was the person that killed everybody
Oh no,
because
that's
she
not
was
the. Yeah.
transgender and she had mental problems. It's like, listen, she did what she did. She needed, you know, mental help,
Yeah.
and a lot of times the people just shrugged that shit off, which is unsettling. I
Yeah.
understand that, I wish that person had gotten the help that they needed, and they didn't do what they did because it's like a freaking bomb going off.
Yeah.
Because her blowing up the way she did ended up killing like 6 other people and damaging other people,
Yeah.
both mentally and physically. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. I have compassion for that stuff, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
call that a victim.
No, not really. No, hell no. Like, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, she could have got help. You're not, if you're mentally like something like that is going on in your head, you can get help. You
Yeah.
don't need to go that far to like end up start killing people. You're not the victim. You could have gotten help. You could have got what you needed to prevent it.
Yes.
So sorry. Yeah. Man.
Yeah, we went
Yeah.
to dirt.
It's crazy. Oh man.
But that's what a lot of people don't. I mean, there's some people that make fun of those types of situations. A lot of people are like, I can't believe you made fun of that situation. You know what? I can either cry
Yeah.
or I can get a couple. I can't even remember the dopamines. I can give people some dopamines, make them feel a little bit better about themselves. So that I mean, I'm trying to save lives here. I
Yeah.
joke.
For real. And like, if a comedian does decide to make a joke about something like that, I mean, as long as it's put together well and as long as it's funny, and it brings, awareness too at the same time, like a comedian can do that, but like if a joke is like way too like disrespectful, be like, hey man, you could have you could have done something better. But if a comedian can put it together right and do it, give it like the respect it deserved, of the incident, like I'm all for it. Like if I can make a joke sometimes like, well, it's too close to home for me over here, but what Uvalde happened back here,
Yeah.
And but one of my buddies, I mean, like, I'm sorry, he made like a really good, I'm like, and he was a teacher, he was an ex-teacher, he used to be a teacher, but like he made it, I can't say the joke, I don't want to say his joke, but it was a good joke and it was put together right, and it made me laugh, and I was like, okay. But dang it, man, like it's one of those jokes where I was like, oh man, I'm going to hell for laughing at that joke right now. But if you can
Yeah.
do it right, all for it, But
Well, there's a cop that does. No, he was a EMS guy. And he's a comedian, and he's talking about this joke. They ended up making a skit off on TikTok, but
mhm.
guy ended up committing suicide. Blew up his head. That was funny because I saw the whole freaking screen just vibrate.
Oh yeah, the dang freaking
Yeah, it's all right. But he was like the cop that was there. He's like, "You think this is our guy?" Guy grabs his license plate, puts his finger over the guy's head. He's like, "Nah, I don't know. Do you think it is?" Because he literally he had his thumb over the face, and he's like, and the EMS guy goes, "Well, let me see that real quick." No, no, I don't know if this is a guy or not because it says he has green eyes, and it's obvious he has blue eyes because one blew that way and one blew that way. I'm like,
dang,
okay, okay, I get what you're talking about.
dang. That was, yeah. See, there you go. That's a good way
Yeah,
to do it. And they made a TikTok of it. I
yeah.
need to check.
I, I don't know how you'd find it. It's one of those every once in a while I'll start sending you shit. I
All
have
right.
to get to know the person because I don't like because if I get to know you know because your phone's always blowing up because I'm always sending you freaking messages about funny shit that's found.
Yeah. Heck yeah, I'm always down for that stuff. I need stuff like that all the time just to make me get through my day sometimes, just find something funny.
Now,
That's perfect.
does some of that stuff actually help you out to the point where uh you I know you don't want to make the like joke steal and everything like that. But sometimes those jokes are universal to where you could like, you know what? He did it this way. Maybe I could do it this way.
Oh yeah, totally. Like, if it's a joke that's relatable and everything to something I can turn into, like, yeah, I could any kind of inspiration, you can get it out of you can get a joke. Yeah, it's not really stealing though, because like you can get inspiration from anything, like a TV show, joking around with buddies, like just anything I can make a joke out of. I always try and do something with it. If I feel like I can, make it better or make it my own way, I'll go for it.
Yeah, because I had this one joke about because I saw this article where a guy named his kid Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, because there's certain names that you can't use anymore. I mean, after a time, you probably can, but there's certain names you just cannot use.
Yeah.
Adolf Hitler, can't use that. It might be, I mean, can you now use Genghis Khan? I mean, he literally changed the environment because of how much people he killed.
I think
I think he killed like 10% of the population for that time frame.
Oh yeah, for real. Yeah. He conquered it, like, yeah. But man, I mean, yeah, Genghis Khan, you can get away with that. I mean, that's a boss name right there. You call somebody Genghis Khan, that's a bad dude already.
Yeah, or naming your
Yeah.
kid Stalin or some shit like that.
Yeah. I don't think you'll ever hear anybody naming their daughters Karen, though. Karen is going to be gone for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I feel bad for Karens that live right now. Like, I mean, damn. Just that name, like, they turned it into
It's a big joke, and I've always wondered when it's that's another thing I always wonder, and I start researching is like at what point in time did that stuff become like faux pas? And it's like racial terms or
Yeah.
or stuff that people are saying back. Hell, this was considered. Well, no, it was this. This is considered racist.
Oh.
And I found out. What's funny is I found out it was a guy that was making a joke.
Uh-huh.
He was making a joke, and it turned into someone's. It's one of those things. It's just someone's going to turn it into something because they believe it because they're stupid. I'm
Yeah.
just going to. They're stupid. They could be like a super genius, but they're stupid. You can't. You can't just like go out and you have to give up. It's like this is a joke nowadays when you put stuff on social media. This is a joke.
Yeah.
It's like the bottled water. That was a joke that turned into a business. I'll tell you the story. It's so fucking hilarious. What it is the people that made it were in a business class, and they're like, you know, it'd be funny if we sold people bottled water. That was the whole thing. It was like their last essay type deal.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, okay, we're gonna do this. Because in most business schools, you have to make a fake product and see how well it sells, see how well you do as a business person.
Yeah.
Well, they made bottled water. They kept on selling out. And all they literally doing was grabbing water out of the tap and putting it in bottles and handing and they were selling them for like $1 or 50 cents or something like that. It was like cost management type deal.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, we have an actual business. They were doing it as a joke and they made a business.
Yeah. Like now there's like all different types of bottled water and like now everybody's got their hands in it a little bit, Dang.
You have your Gucci water out there. You have to be bougie.
Oh man.
My water has minerals from the top of Mount Kilimanjaro.
I got that. I don't want to sponsor anybody, right? I don't know if I can put the product out. I'm Great Value. That's the water I get.
I get
That's the water. Yeah. Hey, but you know what? Another thing about At one point, you're military, right? You're at
Yeah.
what's it?
I was Air Force.
Air Force.
I was
But I'm gonna go back on names real quick because my mom, she was actually, I found this out like later on that she was gonna name me Jody. She was gonna
okay.
name me Jody, and I was all like, I'm glad you didn't name me that. So like, why? So like, because that's a guy that ends up sleeping with all the military dudes' wives when they're gone and shit. You know. I'm like, I'm glad you didn't name me that.
You're
Appreciate
not
that. Thank
wrong.
you.
You're not wrong. You know what's
Yeah.
really strange is I think he was doing it last episode for Psychos and Sociopaths, but there's a person that this person killed and was Carol.
Uh,
Carol and Carl spelt the same thing. Think about it.
oh crap.
Carol. But you pronounce it totally different depending if it's male or female.
Oh
That
wow.
and I'm dyslexic, and I'm like, is this Carl or Carol? Carl? And I talked about it on the episode, but I'm like, whose fucked up stupid shit is this?
Damn. I didn't. Yeah, it is. It's spelled the same way. Dang.
They're spelled the same way, but they're pronounced different between. It's like Caitlin. Caitlin's the same thing as Catlin.
Oh well,
Catlin is male. Caitlin is female.
yeah. Jesse is spelled differently, male and female.
Yeah.
Jesse. Yeah. I used to actually like my homeboy. His name was Jesse, and I had to write his name down on our paperwork together. And I would always make it Jesse, the female version. Like, and he'd be like, "Hey man."
Well, it's like pronunciations in Spanish and pronunciations in English. I mean,
Yeah.
you got your Jesus and it's Jesus. I talked to a like
Jose and
yeah, Jose and Jesus is one of those things. It's totally weird.
I know, right? Dang. Mexicans were very religious people. There's a lot of Jose's. There's a lot of them.
Well, at least it's not like Igor.
Uh,
I asking for Igor in like Russia is like asking for Jesus in Mexico
dang.
or a Juan.
Supposedly, the name like Mud is actually somebody's real name. Like,
Yeah, it was fuck. It was a guy that was supposedly I'll get the whole thing. It was connected for okay, his or her name is Mud is a saying that is person is discredited or unpopular. Okay, some say that my name come from Dr. Samuel Alexander Mudd, 1833 to 1883. That's how long he lived. He attended who attended to John Wilkes Booth after 1865 assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. However, the phrase was used named Mudd, not Mud, and had been existed since, lasted 10 years before Samuel Mudd was born. Okay, so it's a lot older than that thing because I got that from like watching National
yeah,
Treasure too.
yeah. And I was like, I remember we looked it up too, and it was true. And I was like, okay, but yeah, okay, it was older than his actual name. Like, it was our
Yeah.
name. Gotcha.
So it was. I hate that when I look up something, I think something's definite. How many times have you done that now? Since I mean, so many times when I was a kid, a lot of the stuff your parent tells you, and you find out nowadays because you got information from everywhere. And you're like,
Yeah,
oh, you lied.
I know. Dang, for real. Okay, how is it pronounced? Berenstein Bears or Berenstein?
Shit, I don't know. I think it's Berenstein because you think about it. Berenstein is think of Frankenstein. That's where I think of it.
Yeah, they were always talking about it. Like, I think, what is it? Alternate universe, whatever. Like, it was called
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect, right? Yeah, like Like we're so used to being called Berenstein, but actually in another reality, we were always calling it Berenstein. Dang,
Yeah,
that'd be
there's a
crazy.
well, it's the whole Sinbad movie. Shazam? Or not
Oh
Shazam.
yeah,
I think it was Shazam.
no, yeah, I was Shazam, man. He did do that movie.
Yeah, someone actually found it,
Yeah, but
but
then now you're thinking about Shaq, the one that Shaq did. Like it was
yeah,
actually Shaq. Yeah.
yeah, that was so funny only because after a while, because I even remember it. I was like, "Didn't he do something like that though?" And you look back, like, someone actually found it.
Yeah, it makes sense a little bit. Like I think that stuff is kind of like true a little bit. Um, okay, I remember waking up one day and the woman who killed Yolanda, I mean the woman who killed Selena,
Yeah,
Yolanda, right?
Yolanda, yeah.
They- Yeah, they were saying like a while back that she had died. Like she was already like
Yeah,
dead.
she's just getting out of prison right now.
Yeah, I know, right? And I was like, what the hell? Like one day, like they're saying she's dead, and the next day I'm like hearing, oh no, thinking, was I just waking up in a different universe at time or what? What was going on? Shit.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
like, well, there was one that I believed for, like, the longest time, and someone told me, it's like, "No, that's not true. Why do you believe that?"
Mhm.
And I can't remember the instance, I just remember I did it, and I was, like, down like,
You're
farted.
good.
It it was some no, it's what my friends say is like, "Oh, you remember you did X, Y, and Z." I mean, it's something to do with my sister's car. It was like, you moved your sister's car." It's like, "I don't remember doing that."
Mhm.
But they cast my only so good, and I was like, "I guess I did do that because I forget a lot of shit, but that's something I would definitely remember is moving my sister's car and making her think that someone stole her car."
Yeah.
But people, like, lighted me through the whole thing, and I was like, "Did I really do that?" But my friends remember a lot of stuff from high school differently from what I do. But
Mhm.
that's actually a psychological, thing that happens, because what happens is, like, when a lot of people the best reference I can get is, combat. W You'll have 4 people going into the same situation, and one person will remember it one way, one will be able to see it one way, one will be able to see it another way, it just goes down the line. You just see it
Mhm.
different ways. And there's some people out there that I was like, "Man, I wish we had somebody on this side." It was like, "Oh, no, we had somebody on that side. You are on that side, and you actually did your job well." And the person would think, "Oh, no, we were in this horrible situation. We should have had someone here." It's like, "No, you were there. You did your job well, but we had insurgents coming onto the side that you weren't able to cover. I mean, you were
Mhm.
covering it the best as you could. You did your job well." And
For sure.
some people got hurt during that, time frame, and they're feel guilty on something that they shouldn't have felt guilty in the first time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's common occurrence when, shots are firing and everything,
Yeah.
or something really bad that, happens. I had to be told that, uh, I was like I was taking this inmate out because someone caught him on fire,
Uh,
and I asked, it's like, how could we have moved him a little bit better? I mean, I could barely grab him. It's like, "You're the one that grabbed him fully and put him on the gurney. You did your job right." I was like, "Yeah, but he kept on slipping well, his skin kept on coming off because he was burnt that
oh,
bad." Yeah,
dang.
I had some fucked up stories. But
Oh man.
and they had to tell me, it's like, because the guy ended up dying, and I kept on saying, it's like, "I didn't move fast enough." It's like, "Dude, you moved faster than everybody. You got
Yeah.
You did your job to the point. They literally had to set me down and have a counseling session because I thought I failed. And they literally told me, it's like, you did your job as best as you possibly can. You absolutely did your job. We saw it. You can watch the recording,
Yeah.
but you did X, Y, and Z. It was just his time. You have to put that in your head. And then they told me what he did, and I just really didn't care after that.
Oh man. Well, like
That
you know, like adrenaline goes through real quick, doesn't it? Too, like,
yeah,
and then
it
see, go ahead.
it's hard to control nowadays because I'll flare up, and I have to bring it back to the point in my own head. It's like if I start like arguing with a person, I'll keep that in my mind, but I have to tell myself, does it really matter? No,
Right.
it's not gonna. It's not gonna affect my. It's gonna affect my future if I let it affect my future.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I guess the older I got, now it's just like, yeah, this. If I'm ever arguing with somebody, like, just yeah, man, we're done talking. We're good. I don't need to do, you know.
I have to use. Neil deGrasse Tyson said it best. Was like a 5-minute rule. If someone's saying something stupid, and it's obviously stupid. Like if you're talking to a person that believes in flat Earth, it's
Yeah.
obviously stupid. They're
Mhm.
obviously a moron on that subject. And
Yeah.
they keep on, it's like, well, if you put X, Y, and Z, it's like, okay. And my thing is just telling a person, okay, and I'll walk
Yeah.
off.
For
And
real.
some people think it's rude, but I'm not gonna go into that fight.
Yeah.
It's just too weird. What do you do to, because you got hecklers and everything. Do you have to, do you have that like 5-minute thing, or you just keep on going, or you just totally ignore them?
Oh, dude, I love heck. Oh, like if I get a heckler, man, I use him. He's part of the show now, you know. Like I'm working with them, you know, like whatever I can do to make everybody laugh. Um, but I'm like now I'm gonna pick on that guy a little bit, you know. I'm gonna get him. Like I really try and do my crowd work. I try and get my crowd work in. Like every time I do a show. So if even if he's not even a bad heckler, if he's a good guy, you know, just he was laughing like really good at the joke. I'm just like, thank you, you know, like.
Yeah.
But hecklers, I mean, you know, they keep you sharp, man. They keep you on your toes. If it's a guy that's being real bad and he needs to get out of there, I'm like, okay, we need to stop this so I can finish my actual act, guy. Come on, like you need to get out of here. But
So you're able to actually see that point where he's being stupid,
yeah,
and
I can see that point.
okay.
And one guy, like, he was repeating my whole joke once. Like every time I was saying my joke, he was trying to add on to it, you know. And I was like, "Hey, sir, let me tell the jokes," you know. And everybody started laughing and this and that. But I talked to him like later on, you know. I was like, "Hey, man, I didn't mean to. I hope I didn't come off rude." And he was like, "No, man, I'm so glad. Like, you know, like you got me involved. It was cool. Everybody laughed. Everybody was cool about it." And I like that. But some people are just like, "Yeah, you're not funny." I was like, "Oh shit, sorry." Hecklers, it's hit or miss, but yeah, I can usually work with them. I can usually can. I've
I'm
never
I'm
had a real bad one.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time I go to like I like going to comedy shows, but I don't like myself going to comedy shows because every time I hear a joke, it's like, I can make that funny, or just nope, you're not a part of the show. Back it
Yeah,
up, shut the fuck up. I mean, I
yeah,
do that to myself, and it's it's ridiculous. It's one of those things. Is like I have to tell myself, because everybody has the caring aspect. Is like, hey, I'm just trying to help you out. Here's where you can do it better. Because I get it all the time with the podcast stuff. It's like, well, if you did X, Y, and Z, I was like, do you have a podcast?
yeah,
That's my thing. That's how I stop people. It's like, no, I don't have a podcast, but I listen to them a lot. I was like, then you don't know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I've talked to other podcasters, and I do the same thing. They tell me the same thing. Yeah, I have a lot of people that give suggestions, but it's your choice to use those suggestions.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's really like, it's like, well, you're going all over the show. And it's like, well, that's me. People are
Yeah.
listening to me. They're not
Exactly.
listening to me because they're like, no, I know this guy. He'll go off the rails in a
Yeah.
totally different direction. You might be going to the bank, but he started going out with the bank. Then he seen a shiny toy, and then he went that direction, and then he got caught on fire, and he's just out in the woods now. We a long time ago.
Heck yeah.
It's how he is.
No, man. That's why I like hanging out with you, man. That's why we connected so good out there, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. For real.
Here's a man. I was on fire yesterday, like literally on fire. Not literally on fire, but
Yeah.
I was cracking everybody up at work. I was well, the first guy he was trying to tell me that he was sick, but he wanted to do it in a funny way. He's like, "Man, looking at you makes me want to throw up." And I was like, "Oh man." And he's a bigger fat fella. I was like, "Man, that's kind of mean, man." It was like, "Yeah, I got you, huh?" I was like, "No, no, no, no. I'm just thinking right now that you used a mirror to find out that you have a dick and balls, and you try to be ballsy today, so you wanted to do it against me." Which was, I mean, sometimes you want to go up against this Navy SEAL and see if you can do it, but sometimes you
Yeah.
can't. He was like,
No.
"Damn, dude."
He caught you on a good day. You're like, no, I'm not gonna let you.
Dude, another guy was just he was trying to make fun of me. He was like, "You need to work faster, blah blah blah." Because some of the people up at work, they know that I do a little bit of funny stuff when I do my
Yeah.
podcast and everything. They want to catch me, and they're like, I can do better than you." And then they just realize, oh no, because
Yeah.
he was like, "You need to work faster." I was like, I don't know which personality decided to take the wheel today, but he needs to set the fuck down before I kick your ass. He's like, Jesus, where did that come? I was like, I don't know, but that was a good one. I like that one. I'm keeping that one. You can use it. I don't care. That's one thing. I do funny stuff, and I do say some funny stuff after a while and everything like that. But I've had a guy that actually does comedy. He's like, "Can I use that?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't care. I'm not doing this for a living. You are. I'm doing a podcast." If they hear it on the podcast, they're like, "Oh, he's just repeating X, Y, and Z's joke." Just tell us if they listen to my stuff. And it's like, no, he gave that to me. That's
Yeah.
all. I listen to his stuff. He's pretty funny on the show. And yes, I steal some of his stuff, and he allows it, and I talk to him. So I
Yeah.
don't.
I'll definitely I wrote a few things down. Like I'll give you a shout out whenever I do it, man. I got you. I appreciate
That's all
that.
I care about.
Yeah. For
But
real.
so
Like whenever I'm working, I'm I try and make the day go by fast by joking around all the time.
do you
So
carry like a notebook, or you write notes when you're at work when you do think of jokes? Because I did that for a while for the podcast.
yeah, I always carry I'll either carry something like this with me,
Yeah.
and I'll have it in my car. Like whenever I go take my breaks, and I'll be like, let me go write this down real quick. Or
I just thought
on
of
my
something.
phone too.
I just thought of something. And get a pen and paper down right now. This is so
Okay.
fucking great. Because imagine that you have that clipboard, and I just took a glance on it because I think it was like it looks like a receipt for a customer. Could you imagine doing your comedy? You come up with a good joke, and you write it on the receipt, and it's laminated to where it bleeds through.
Uh-huh.
Basically, give that to a person.
Right.
You give the receipt. You give the joke to a person on the receipt, and
Uh-huh.
they're looking at the joke.
Just like give them the receipt, like with the joke on it and everything.
Yeah. Like when
And
you're
then
doing your notes and everything.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'll explain the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, you have your clipboard. You're doing your information on that, and then you come up with the joke, and you
Right.
write the joke down, and it bleeds through the carbon copy, and you're like,
Oh,
see,
yeah. Like I'm just like, oh, well, here's a little something extra for you right there.
exactly.
I got you.
I
Let
give
me write
jokes
that.
out on accident. I had the I work in a tire shop. I ended up like having a good joke, wrote it down, gave it to the person. Person comes up next month. I'm in HR. It's like, why are you telling these people this? I didn't. Oh, my bad.
My bad. My bad.
Uh,
I do try and like leave like little notes around the work area, like just to make people feel better. Like I put like, oh, make every day better than the last. But I don't tell them I do that. Like they're like wondering like who's writing these damn quotes. I'm like, I don't know. So like they don't know like I've been writing them and like leaving them places for them to find them and shit. So I should probably write a few jokes. But everybody at work, they know I'm a comedian, so they would probably know it's me
yeah.
if I was writing jokes.
Or if you're in your bathroom, it's like, it smells like this way, so you can come and find me by your nose.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one right there. Yeah.
Oh man.
No, it's
But
all about writing the jokes down whenever I can. Or I got a pretty good memory. I got a board too. I got like a dry erase board
yeah.
at home. Like I'm putting stuff together. Like it looks crazy. It looks like God dang, this guy. I'm really into it. Like I get like here. I'll show it to you real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
I got
okay.
yeah, I got this big old dry erase board, and I just got all my stuff on it. Like whenever, like if I'm just at home chilling too, I'm like I need to write something down real quick, and I put it all together, like
Okay.
beginning to end and everything.
That's nice.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a lot of people that don't understand the full development of what goes into making jokes or creating your whole set.
Yeah.
And everybody think there's a lot of people out there that just think it's like, oh, you just throw your hands up in the air and you just people laugh. No, I had to figure out that was the only thing that was making people laugh. I'm pretty shitty person at talking.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, pretty much. You got to write yourself a script, and you got to memorize your own script, from beginning to end. And that's the only like people think that like, oh, it's just coming out of my head like right there and then when I'm on stage, like I'm making it up as I go. No, I've been working on it for months, just how to put it all together. So
Yeah, and you have to like the best way to describe it is like getting a brisket ready for the smoker. You're not
mhm,
just grabbing the brisket and just tossing it on there. No, you're cutting some of the fat off. You have to cut up the tip.
mhm.
You have to set it up, and then you put whatever seasoning you want to have on it. A lot of people from Texas just use black pepper and salt. I mean, that's stupid simple. Can't fuck that
Right.
up. And you set it all up and everything. You make it just right, and you put it in there, and then you go the working routine on it.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Like with the brisket, it takes 8 hours for a good brisket sometimes, right?
Here's another thing. Which do
Yeah.
you which do you use? Do you use aluminum foil or butcher paper?
Aluminum foil.
Don't be a piece of shit like that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, okay, if you use okay, as a cook, I can tell
Okay.
you this right now. If you use aluminum foil, it traps that heat.
Mhm.
Butcher paper lets some of that heat out because you're supposed to let it rest for a while. If you put it in like you're making it more drier if you use tinfoil.
Oh, okay.
But if you use butcher paper, you're keeping a lot of the flavor in also. We did
Yeah.
a we did a test, me and my brother-in-law, because I was telling him this. He's like, "No, I just use lemon." I was like, "Motherfucker, I'll buy it. I'll buy the butcher paper and I'll do it myself. And we'll have a taste test. He's like,
Well,
I don't know what it is, but yeah, you're right. But and I tell it it's preference.
yeah.
But I found out you can get like butcher paper up at like Home Depot.
Oh yeah, like bigger, like in bulk a little bit, like a lot.
Yeah.
So what kind of seasoning do you? How do you season yours? Like, what do you put on it?
It's all depending on what I want that day. If I just
Yeah,
want to, just go, basic, which is the black pepper and the salt. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. It's
yeah.
also what you use. I mean, sometimes I'll use like sage and I'll use thyme, if I want to be a little bit fancier.
I don't know. I
But
saw one guy. He put like mustard all over it. Like put mustard
that's
on it.
that's northern. That's
Yeah.
that's in the Carolinas and northern. They use
Oh,
mustard. They also
yeah.
do like pork the same way. They put mustard on it. I don't like mustard.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 1,000 ways you could do, one recipe. It's all depending on personal preference. Like for chicken and dumplings, I like bare
Oh,
bone. A lot of people put vegetables in it. A lot of people put like seasoning in it. I like just black pepper and salt. That's how my mom made it. A friend of mine made me chicken and dumplings. I made chicken and dumplings too, and I got this. We both ate it,
yeah.
and I told him it was like mine's gonna be bland because that's how I like it. That's how I grew up with it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I like the flavor off of mine, but I like the taste of yours. I mean, we both agreed. It was like I liked his with the flavor in it. I was like, man, maybe I should put a little bit. I was like, no, I like how I like it.
Yeah. Like I've always like yeah, because that's how your mom made it. You love how your mom makes it and everything. I'm the same way. Like, well, menudo, my mom, she has a recipe on how she does it. And one time I was eating with my ex, her family, they made menudo too, but they put like a jalapeno seasoning in it and made it more spicier.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I loved it. I loved it, and I was like, oh man, how do I tell my mom to change up her way of doing it? So I could,
You
but nah, I still,
didn't get the chocolate off of that one. You
yeah,
almost did. You almost did.
I'm,
But yeah, it's whatever flavor. I mean, that's what a lot of people don't understand with like. I mean, cooking's the same way as comedy because you're serving somebody something,
yeah,
and their taste buds might not interact really. It's like I love going out and having a good smoked brisket or smoked ribs and everything smoked.
hmm
You know, my daughter on the other hand, she hates anything that's smoked. Friend of mine, she hates everything that's smoked. She's like, I really don't like the smoked stuff.
oh
I'm like,
man,
well, we're not talking anymore as friends anymore. That's why haven't we talked in a while? You don't like barbecue, real barbecue.
yeah.
You're California barbecue. You think of barbecue is just hot dogs and burgers.
Well, that's the same thing too. Like with barbecuing, like good food, you're making it good because you're gonna be serving it to people. You want them to enjoy it and
Yeah,
everything. And that's the same thing about comedy. You go into comedy, like if you're really gonna go into it, you go into it knowing like these people came to see a show, so you need to give them a show, you
yeah,
know. So that's what one of my buddies told me. Is like that's what you need to understand when you're writing your jokes. These people, you gotta grab their attention real quick, and you got to keep their attention, and you got to keep them laughing. You make sure like they're entertained. They came out on a day where you know like over there in Claiborne, like the people came out,
yeah.
in the cold. So I was like, man, I'm gonna make sure you're gonna laugh. You're gonna leave, and you're gonna have a good time.
I'm gonna use some heat so you can ignore this cold for a couple of seconds.
Exactly.
I was
And
like,
then
this. I had everybody order. I made this like barbecue pizza, barbecue chicken pizza.
oh shit,
Yeah, I didn't use like I made it like because there's different styles of barbecue sauce or hot wings and everything. It was basically a pizza with chicken on it, but I use the hot wing sauce as the marinara.
Oh, okay.
I used that, and I didn't like carry it on because a lot of people they like put like deep stuff. But even with marinara, you just spread it on the bottom part. You just use it for a kind of a flavor burst.
Okay.
Type.
You got a
Well,
pizza oven? You got one of those pizza ovens?
yeah, you
Make
use a regular oven.
Oh, okay.
I want to get one. I want to get a Neapolitan
Oh,
Neapolitan brick oven. Have you seen those?
I've seen the brick ovens before, but like I didn't like I've
Yeah,
seen them before. Like
there's
yeah,
a
like I
certain style. There's a certain style called a Neapolitan oven. It's basically like it looks like an igloo. It's built like an igloo, and you put the wood in the back, and you build up the heat and everything like that, and you got a flat stone surface,
mhm.
and that's where you cook your pizza in. Yeah, and you have to keep watch because it cooks it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the
And
igloo right there, all the heat builds up all like real good and shit.
yeah,
It's
hold
supposed to be
on.
like 500 degrees in there in the oven.
No, you can't get it that high.
Oh, okay. I've always wanted to have like homemade pizza made like that, in one of those ovens. It's pretty good.
Let me see if I can, because they make like pizza style ovens like that. That I mean, I'm looking at. There we go. Look at the price on this damn thing too.
They show like a lot of really good DIY projects. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, look at the price on that. It's $15,000.
Golly.
Let's see if I can put the price on there. Yeah, $15,000. That's it right there.
What the heck? Dang.
But yeah, and just to have it called a Neapolitan pizza oven, it
Mhm.
has to be like certified from Italy, Nepal.
Dang.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
mean,
know that.
getting into like cooking and everything is it's very fucking expensive. Because even if you want to like go like super bougie,
Mhm.
black truffles,
Yeah.
dude, I'm telling you right now, all it is a mushroom. That's
Yeah.
all it is. But you can only get it from the Black Forest from France, the actual black truffles. You can get
Oh.
it some places here, but the reason why they're so expensive because I think it's like $300 a pound,
Whew.
and I mean you can get like truffle oil for pretty cheap
Mhm.
from like you can get it from Walmart and everything. The more expensive, the more heighten the flavor. It's a nice
Mhm.
flavor. I just don't. I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like mushrooms all too much, even though I should be eating mushrooms. Well, not like the good mushrooms, but the mushrooms that it's supposed to do something with your brain to actually make you more coherent and everything.
Yeah, no, they got the lion's mane mushroom. That's
Yeah,
the most common one that people are taking right now
yeah.
for like, yeah, bigger, but just
Cognitive
yeah, just get rid of
for
all that brain fogness of what people get sometimes. Yeah.
yeah. It's
I take the drops. I have the drops at my house right now.
oh, you microdose.
Yeah, I microdose another.
Oh, well, a lot of people actually say use that to actually. I some of it's like trauma, and other times you have to do it just so you could uh get rid of like a lot of the fog. But everybody wants that like stupid edge. Like,
Mhm.
oh, if I do this, I can get a little bit. Dude, a lot of the people that write is like on ambient. And I looked at the chemical compound for ambient. I was like, oh, people like doing meth, but in a different language.
There you go. There you go. No, I've even messed around with that freaking god dang it. I should have been taking it because I already forgot.
Oh, the alpha brain.
Yeah, Alpha Brain. Yeah, the Joe Rogan. Yeah.
I tried that for a little bit before
Yeah.
I like do an episode, and I was like,
Mhm.
and it doesn't do anything to me. And I looked at it, it's like it's it's vitamin. There's a lot of vitamin B and caffeine in it. That's it.
Yeah.
So you just have to. I mean, it's $80 compared to what you know. But it's from what he says. This has come from Joe Rogan because he's pretty much a portion of owner of that company.
Yeah.
But from what he says is it's a lot cleaner how it's made because a lot of supplement companies they use the same vat for one and then they don't clean it very well, so you get remnants of another thing. So if you're allergic to something, it's like cooking fish on a skillet
Yeah.
or a shrimp. Shrimp is most common. Cooking shrimp on a skillet, and then you're cooking a steak on it, and you don't clean it very well, and someone
Yeah.
has a steak and they're allergic to shrimp, and they
Yeah.
get allergic reaction, and they die. It's the same. It's the same thing with like. That's the reason why you don't want to do that with like supplements. Sometimes you get a mixture of something that you're not really supposed to take.
Yeah. No, I tried it out and I was all like, I guess I just felt the vitamin part of it too, that was about it. It was all right. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I didn't feel like the connection to it.
Mhm.
And not that I mean we should be taking our vitamins and exercise and whatnot, but
No, for real.
I've been holding back a little bit on the exercise and pumping my stuff up, but I've been having like uh I think I might be getting arthritis in my elbow, which is really bad because it's my right hand.
Mhm.
Man, I went out to the range. I could barely hold up my gun.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, I could feel the pain, but after a while, it was subside.
Yeah.
It was, oh man, I was like, I gotta fix this. I gotta figure out a way to fix this.
Pretty much, yeah. If it's always popping, like if it's always popping, yeah, I got it. I got arthritis.
Yeah,
Yeah. So dang. We're getting there, guy. We're getting there.
yeah, we're getting at the stage where it's like, man, everything's breaking down.
Yeah, bro.
That
I have
was,
a part of my joke. I have a joke where it's always like, I'm old enough to where I used to have a MySpace, and now I got myself a MyChart.
yeah. I remember that. I was like, shut up, dude. Shut
Yeah,
up.
everybody relate. Like a lot of people, like it's called in like it works in like a lot of different towns. It's always called something different,
Yeah,
somewhere else. But like everybody knows what I'm talking about, and they're like, yes. You get into that age where like, yeah, we're not young anymore.
you're keeping records, but mostly medical.
Hmm. Yeah,
I used to like collecting vinyl records, but mostly now I do like medical records.
yeah, for real. Trying to bring down the cholesterol right now. So
That's actually not that hard. It's just how a lot of people want to go for the fast food. And this is literally just saying fast food, but they want something to eat right then and there because they just remember they're hungry. It's just you have to prepare any kind of situation in comedy or life in general, doing podcasts or anything. You have to prepare your life the way you want to have it.
yeah,
Like right now, uh, I can do this for like tacos, and I could do this for like Chinese stir fry. As I'll just take a baggie
mhm,
because the United that get my groceries from they have like already pre chopped beef for they call it like, oh, this is stir fry. I was like, no, I use it for tacos too. I just put the
that's it.
seasoning in
Yeah,
and just put them in baggies and everything. I was like right before the show. I mean, I ate right before the show, and it only took me like maybe about 10 minutes. But if you already cook it beforehand and put it like a little thing, whatever meal, a lot of people nowadays call it like meal prep,
yeah,
and that's all it is. It's preparation. You got to prepare your life wherever you want to do. If you want to lose weight, if you want to lower your cholesterol, if you want to do X, Y, and Z, prepare for it.
Oh, heck yeah. No, no, further. I was into meal prepping back in the day, and I recently like just got back into it now. I've been like just making like getting real creative with chicken breast. I make like I'll make some tacos with like corn tortillas, so I'll get them all ready. Yeah,
I just
I was
can't. I can't stand corn tortillas.
hey man, they're
I know,
good. They're
I know
actually
they're supposed to be healthier for you, but I just can't
yeah.
do it.
No, I think they're delicious, especially if you get them like right from Mexico. They're even better. And like the store bought tortillas out here, they're all right. But like my uncle, he comes from he goes back and forth to Mexico. Like he got his family out there,
Yeah,
and he'll bring some stuff.
I
Yeah,
had I had a I had a I had a friend of mine. She got some. They're supposed to be like the best flour tortillas from New Mexico.
oh, okay.
I'm I do that sometimes when I'm talking about Spanish stuff.
Yeah,
I have like a Spanish accent to it. New Mexico.
Mexico,
Not
Mexico.
even not even close to being Spanish or Mexican or anything, and I have that. I think it's a Texan thing.
At least you didn't say like a tortilla. You didn't say tortilla.
On tortilla,
Yeah, tortilla. Heck yeah.
but no, and they were really good. But we got this place called Sevi's,
Hmm.
and they've been around for oh man, probably about in the 70s. But they hand make their tortillas,
Yeah,
and
like
they're so fluffy. You buy it. That's one thing a lot of people don't understand. It's like store bought tortillas. They are so bland.
yeah,
They don't have the fluff to it.
yeah.
And
Like
you get a
I've even
place
some they taste like paper to me. Like I'm like, God dang.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I took my daughter, she's never had, like, real tortillas or real Mexican food from,
Mhm.
like, a Mexican place because she mostly lived in South Dakota,
Yeah.
and she comes down here and she's like, I wanna, like, a breakfast burrito." I love breakfast burrito now. She's on a kick. I was like, "Alright, we'll go to Sebby's." Sebby's is the best place to get, breakfast burritos made by real Mexicans and everything. I mean, you have to learn a little bit of Spanish just to order from 'em. That's a good place to get freaking
Oh
breakfast.
yeah, definitely. Heck yeah.
How do you know Spanish? Psst, I love Mexican food, and sometimes you gotta learn Mexican just to talk to the people.
Yeah, for real. Just so that way you can get some of that food, man. Shoot,
Yeah.
we got a few places like that here in San Angelo. Like they look like hole in the walls, but when you walk in there, everything's all real nicely decorated and everything,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
got yeah.
We got a couple of places like man, but the tortillas that come from this place, I will order, like, a bag of them because 'cause they're just so tasty. The fluffy and they're like a
Yeah.
sponge. And they soak up all of the juices and everything that you wanna put in it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, just oh.
Oh, jeez, dude. You're
But
getting
we
me
had
hungry now. You're getting me all
yeah,
hungry again.
I know, I'm glad I ate beforehand.
Oh
But
heck yeah.
we also had this place called Don Jose's,
Okay.
and we used to go up there all the time because they had, like, 99-cent margaritas.
Oh, 99-cent margaritas?
Yes.
Dang, hell yeah.
I left that place sometimes, I don't know how I got home.
Dude.
It I magically teleported myself there.
Well, we need to get a show going over there so I can go over there and
I don't know
hang
if they
out
do
with
it.
huh?
I would have to check. They might have stopped that.
Over there
I'll
at
check.
that
I'll let you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, let me know. I'm
But
down
they
to
have
go out there.
God, that's one thing. Do you and I've never heard like I heard some comedians talk about this, but they don't really who do you talk to when you get into a new location about where to eat? I know we're making each other more hungrier, but
Like I'll go to the venue first, like whenever I go somewhere, and I'll just ask like the locals, like the bartender, like, hey, where's the spot? Where can I get something good? And usually everybody will be like, "Oh, go here," or, or sometimes the venue where I go to, they got pretty good food out there too. Yeah, it's just a bunch of asking around. Just be like, "Hey, I'm not from here. Where can I get a good?"
You know who I found out you talked to?
Who?
Talk to the first responders.
Oh, yeah.
First responders know where all the hidden places are.
Hey, that's good.
Cops and everything, and EMSs and fire department. They know the places where to go to.
Oh, heck yeah. No, that's not a bad idea. Just go and find somebody and just be like,
Yeah,
"Hey, what's good?"
some of the places you have to go to get a good meal,
Yeah.
you'll get shots fired.
Oh, yeah. My cat, he's all freaking playing around. Like Chris is real good. Like Chris we'll always try and find a spot. Usually we'll Google it a lot of times. But yeah, that's not a bad idea to ask, first responders. Like you said, they know all the hidden places, Dang.
Yeah, that's one thing that's like when I go to I'll talk to a friend of mine and they'll tell me, I was like, you got to go to this place. And I go to the place and I'm like, man, this place is shit. There's this one place. It was a chicken place. He's like, man, this is the best fried chicken you can possibly get. I was like, it was bland.
Yeah.
They fast fry the chicken
Yeah.
where they didn't change the grease all too much. Being professional, you can notice like the taste in grease. They reuse the grease to fry something. And I told this to somebody, and they're like, "You're fucking right. I hate you
Yeah.
for that because now I feel like I'm a snob because
Yeah,
they
you
go up,
really can tell. Yeah.
yeah, because it burns the flour way too much, but you can taste like I went to this we had this one place called Bricktown Brewery, and usually I have a burger there. Most of the stuff is burgers, but it's
Yeah.
supposed to be like bar food, but fancy. And they had chicken fried steak, and I had the chicken fried steak, and there, you can taste the gravy. It was the gravy that set it off because they actually use butter.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because a lot of places don't like they use like the packets that's supposed to have everything in there. But everybody that actually makes homemade gravy, you make a roux, you make it with butter, you bring it down with like buttermilk, boom, best tasting gravy.
Well, dang, we're going over there. If I go down there to do a show, we're gonna go head up that spot.
Yeah, I'll
For
pay.
real.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Shoot.
But I know a little. I know a couple of there's. It's not that great, depending on what, because even the time frame when
Yeah.
the food is going to be good.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's all about timing too. I mean, you go at the busy part, they're going to mess up so easy because they have the big orders. But if you go when it's like halfway dead and everything, they're taking
Yeah.
their time. They're taking precision on when they put the food out, and they're like, "Oh no, this is not good. We're gonna have to send this back. We're gonna have to do this again." I have the time now, so I'm gonna be able to do that.
We got a
And
place like that over here. It's called, and like if you're ever down here, I'll take you out there. It's called Pack Saddle. And if you like catfish, you like catfish?
I can't stand anything that comes from water.
Oh dang, never mind.
I can't. And I tried to. There's a lot of times that I just told people I'm allergic to anything that comes from the water because they kept on. They'll pressure you. It's like, no, you got to try this. It's like, no, I'm allergic.
There
Once
you
I
go.
say that, they're like, oh,
Well, they also got really good barbecue out there too. It's actually a really good barbecue. Like they got really good brisket sandwiches. They got anything out there. I like the catfish, but like how you said, like you got to catch them when they're not busy,
yeah.
where they make the food perfect for you. Like how you said, if they're busy, they're just trying to get the orders out. That's it. But yeah, that's the place over here in San Angelo. I'd recommend.
Do you feel the same that when you're actually doing doing your routine and everything, you feel that how many times have you felt that you had to rush?
Where I had to rush.
Yeah. You felt that you had to rush it, or you felt that you're rushing it?
Oh yeah. Well, if I find out I have to rush my act, I usually get like a light. Somebody will give me a light, be like, "Hey, you got 1 more minute." I was like, "Oh shit!" So then I start like going through it like a little bit faster. That's whenever I feel. Usually, I build my act. Like I always ask them like, "How much time do I get?" And they're like, "Oh, we'll give you 15 minutes." All right, so I do the whole fifth. I plan out my whole act. I put some jokes in. I time myself. I make sure I got it down to 15 minutes all the time, or the time I'm supposed to. But I've never really felt rushed. I just always make sure like the time you give me, I'm gonna write my whole act for that. Um, there's been a few times where like, oh wait, I can't give you 15. You could only do 10. Like okay, dang it. All right, so take a few jokes out, and then I'm good to go. But I've never really felt rushed at all to get it.
Because I know the Kill Tony is like a minute. They
Yeah,
give
kill Tony.
everybody like a minute.
And when you get something like that, a minute, you're like, okay, just go for your best one. Just one joke. That's it. You know, that's.
You'd be surprised how long a minute is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When I first got started, like they'd be like, okay, do five. Get a good 5 minute set. And I thought like I didn't know how to time myself back then, no.
Yeah.
But I would go through my whole act, and then I'd be like, how much time did I? Like, dude, you're only up there for like 2 minutes, bro. I was like, damn, I thought I had 5 minutes. My bad, you know, like, yeah, just make sure, like, always talk to the promoter, know how much time you actually have on stage. I don't know, like, I usually have my act down, like, I'll find out how much time I have 2 weeks before the show, and I'll have it all set up. I've never felt rushed after that. I never
Really?
felt rushed. Yeah.
Okay. So you more or less had to get it set up to where I mean, your preparation, like we've been talking through this whole thing, preparation. I'm repeating myself. You pretty much if it's something like you're doing as a hobby, or you're trying to do it as a hobby to make a business. That's what a lot of people don't understand. I mean, even with this thing, doing podcasts. I mean, I'm working on 3 years, and I finally got successful to have like 140, starting
Yeah.
out for like 5 or 10. And now I'm like 140. And there's people out there that are like, people that don't know how much work I've put into it,
Yeah.
or don't understand how much work I put into it. They always go out, it's like, oh, those are low numbers. So it's like, well, it's 3 years. And like,
Yeah.
oh no, I've seen people that they have like millions and millions, and I was like, no, they put the same amount of time frame I have,
Yeah.
and they literally say, they'll always say, it's like, I only have these numbers because I kept at it.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
I got a few people they wonder like because I've gotten some pretty good momentum after like I've kind of been doing this already probably like 6, I want to say 7 years right now, and like people they're like, man, you got so much momentum and everything what's going on, and I've gotten people have been like, oh, I could do this. And I was like, I don't know, you really gotta. There's a lot that went into this. Sometimes I'm making it look easy, but it
yeah,
ain't, you know.
I tell people that they do that. I'll tell them, it's like, hey, I'm gonna let you know. Took me a long time to get here. Go ahead, do it. Because
Yeah.
usually if you let them bury themselves, and I hate to use that term, because I really hope that anybody that puts anything out that's they feel that it's their creation, they
Yeah.
succeed.
Yeah.
Because the feeling of euphoria that a person comes up and says, hey, I caught your podcast, or I caught your show, and it made me feel like really good, to where I could go out throughout my day for a little bit better. You
Oh,
made
yeah.
me feel better. Uh, that kind of thing is just so genuine and so euphoric for me.
Yeah.
It literally makes my day. And I love people that do that. Even if it was like a bad comment, it's like, you suck. I was like, I'm so glad you actually found us.
For real. For real. No, yeah, like you said, there's like a lot of euphoria whenever you get like a good show and you got people come up to you, they're like, dude, you're funny, man. Heck yeah. Like I brought you like out, like people have bad days. You come to a comedy show and I'm making you laugh. Hopefully I'm making you laugh. And you're forgetting about all that shit that happened. Like you left that at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rewarding, man. Whenever like for both of us, it's real rewarding when we get to like we're bringing something that came from like our heads right here for everybody to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, what's really sad is because I went on a Failure Stop podcast with Eric Tanzi. The only reason why I was on that show is because I was a correctional officer, and the guy just escaped prison, went like 2 weeks, and they wanted to go over like the correctional officer aspect. I did the show. Luckily, a friend of mine, he was like, "Are you just going to go on, or are you going to do some research on the stuff?" And he literally that having a good crew is. I just keep you seeing your eyes dart for your cat. It's fucking.
I know. I'm just like making sure because I got it on a tripod. I'm making sure he don't knock it over.
That's fine. Like I said, I'll edit this thing, but
Oh, you're good.
yeah, having a good crew and people that look after you and make sure you don't look stupid. I love that people in my crew that do that for me. And he was like, "No, we're going over every detail of this thing. We're going to try to figure out how you did it." And we did. We figured it out. We got the like pictures and everything, and I sent all the stuff to the podcast. I was like, "Here's X, Y, and Z. I'm going to go over each and every detail." He's like, "Oh, you're bringing an A game. Thank you. Thank you so much." I mean, it turned out to be a really good podcast.
Hey, I'll be right back. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Let me pause it.
Yeah.
Now, what I was going on to the Failure Stop podcast is, I mean, I had all my ducks in a row, but when I sent it to people that I knew so they could check it out, and they're like, especially the people that my other hosts, they're like, dude, you are like 100% on point. Why don't you do that like all the time? Have you ever gotten that to where, well, even like encouragement from people because they made fun of me a little bit and they're like, oh, jokes aside, you're good. I was like, really? Have you ever gotten that?
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Like I've gotten that whenever I absolutely needed to hear that too, like because sometimes, not all shows work out so good, and when I finally get a good show and yeah, I've had somebody come up to me like, dude, you're funny as shit, dude. Thank you. Damn. You had me laughing the entire time. And I was like, man, thank you. It feels great. And that's what keeps me motivated right there. Like the same like you, like you get that feedback from people and that's it's like a drug, you want to get it again.
Yeah.
You want to get it again. So like then you start like really like now after I get that kind of feedback, I start writing, making that joke funnier, getting my new jokes in, and I'm like, I'm working harder now.
Improving it as best as you possibly can. Yeah.
Definitely working harder after that. Yeah.
Now, here's another thing that I keep on, referencing other podcasts, and a lot of people are like, hey, you shouldn't reference other podcasts, and they're going to go see that. I was like, no, it's where I get my stuff from. I was listening to Joe Rogan so I could get, comedy questions and everything. But what's the difference in acoustic? Because that's one thing I never understood of acoustics when people are laughing. Because one comedian said it's like we went to this one place, and when you're on stage, for some ungodly reason, you couldn't hear the laughter that well. But if you were off stage, you could hear it like perfectly, and you were killing it. Have you ever had that kind of type of problem?
No, yeah, definitely. And I thought it was a mental problem that was going on with me. because for some reason, like, yeah, the way the acoustics are, and I mean, I was telling my jokes and I was going through everything, and I could hear laughter, I could hear, but I couldn't hear that much for some reason. It wouldn't be until like whenever I started, like, because I always record myself, right? So I would play it back, and then I started hearing like, oh wow, everybody's laughing like real good. How come I can't hear that? Like, is it I thought it was like, I thought something was happening in like a mental block, maybe I couldn't hear, but yeah, it turns out like sometimes it's just the way the building is, like you're behind the speakers, so it was
Oh,
weird. Yeah, it's weird. Like, and I would tell people like, or I would tell Chris sometimes, I'm like, man, I guess I didn't get that many laughs. He's like, Greg, everybody was laughing at you. I was like, oh, okay. And then I check, I'm like, all right, on my video. I was like, oh, all right, yeah, everybody was laughing. Cool. It's weird,
now,
yeah.
now another staple right now, and I think I've went over this beforehand. What do you see as a problem when people are recording your sets? Like other people,
Oh,
not you recording your sets, because that's totally fine. That's you doing it to review it and take notes on what your set is. But a lot of places now, I was like Matt. Just recently, Matt Rifle had a thing where you couldn't have your phone out, and Ann Lee, she's a porn star, and she was arrested because she didn't have her phone. I don't know what the full thing was. Is she was saying that she didn't have her phone out and whatnot, and she was
yeah.
basically arrested and taken out.
Oh,
So
wow.
what are your views on people like recording? I mean, you're new, so a lot of people what they do is like a slap fighting. That's a new thing from Dana White. Uh, he loves people recording the matches and putting it on their TikTok page or social media stuff. We'll just call it social
Mhm,
media stuff. They put it on their social media stuff, and it promotes the brand.
mhm.
Now they're doing the same thing, kind of, but a lot of comedians don't like it because a lot of people put in criticism on what they're saying. Like if you do like a really dirty joke and people record it and it wasn't supposed to be recorded because it was just having fun doing that. I
Yeah,
mean, even Joe Rogan's mothership, you have a little baggie that you put your phone in. So
yeah.
what are your feelings on that? I mean, it's a tit for tat type thing for me that I feel.
Yeah, like right now where I'm at in my comedy, if anybody is like recording it because they enjoy my comedy and they want to share it, it definitely brings my brand out, lets people tag me in it, If you record me right now where I'm at, tag me so that way I can, people can add me on social media and get a bigger following, get some more people out there that have heard my stuff now. I'm okay with it right now. Where I gotta understand being more professional, being a bigger comedian, like a mainstream comedian, because like Chris Rock, I mean, he's big, he's a goat, and but I can understand it. He doesn't have it to where people you can't record at his show, and I
Yeah.
understand that because he's all his shows are leading up to his main comedy show, his main special.
Well,
Like if
it's more or
you,
less controlling the narrative too.
yeah, like if I was getting a special made, like if I was trying to do a special and all my shows, like from I don't want that. I don't want that coming out yet. If I'm trying to make money from a special,
Yeah.
then yeah, I don't want that coming out yet. Yeah, I would have to say like, don't record this because it's gonna. I'm trying to get it, Netflix to buy it. I don't need this leaking out everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Trying to get yeah. So I can understand that part, but where I'm at right now, if people want to record me and share it and be like, hey, tag me at follow me on social media. Heck yeah, I'm down for it. It wouldn't bother me right now.
Okay. No, what the another thing is a lot of people are like depending on what social media you go on.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to if I put my stuff on X, I can say whatever I want on X. As long as I'm not like bullying people and everything like that,
Yeah.
perfectly fine. I could put it on X. I can say whatever I want. I can have my feelings. But if I put it on like Facebook or something like that, YouTube is still kind of that stage to where if I was being monetized, there's certain things I can't talk about. You can't even talk about like I'm trying to tiptoe on this. It you can't talk about political voting regiments.
Yeah.
If you can figure out that little puzzle, put it in the comments. I mean, but you honestly, I mean, I had a person that was they're doing like historical stuff, and they were talking about a historical uh voting apparatus. And it wasn't just recently, because nowadays it's really prevalent. But they were talking it from like uh 1800s type deal, and they got flagged for because you're not allowed to talk about that kind of stuff on YouTube,
Wow.
and it is so strange. I mean, putting it out on like social media, and depending on, and you have to learn what you're allowed to say and what you can't say, because I can't say the C word on YouTube,
Yeah.
but I can say it on, you know, other platforms,
Yeah.
which is really strange. And I love that word.
What's that one? It's like TikTok, but
Clapper. That's the one that
Clapper.
Cynthia uses. And yeah, you can put almost anything on that one.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like if yeah, I would hate to get in trouble for a joke I said. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
That would suck. I'm
Because
really
most of your ad stuff is social media stuff now.
yeah.
So
Yeah. But yeah, like hopefully I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt when they're recording me. I'm hopefully thinking that hey, they like my stuff and they're just gonna share it with friends.
yeah.
And yeah, but
That's the new way to share stuff and get there's a lot of people that became popular only because of that. I mean, Bert Kreischer would never have been a great comedian that he is today if he
mhm.
hadn't done the machine story on Joe Rogan and put it
Oh
out.
yeah,
I mean, that whole story of him joining the Russian mafia when he was in
yeah.
Russia, I mean, that's what made him.
Oh,
And
big time.
and the story behind it, I love the story behind success stories. Like, uh, the only way that it became prevalent is he had it on Facebook, and he had it on people that uh went with him on the trip, and they verified it that it was true.
Yeah,
That's how it became prevalent and
yeah.
became popular. It's because people verified it. It's like, no, that motherfucker stole from us. And
Yeah, his classmates and everything, the people that
yeah,
that were on the
he
trip
brought
with him.
himself.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I saw the
that's
movie too. The movie was funny.
yeah. What are your views on there not being that much comedy movies that much anymore?
Dang, yeah, man. It's like I enjoy a good Marvel movie every now and then, but they're making too much, and they need to go back to like, yeah, they
The,
need to like really make some real good. They need to make some good comedy movies again. Like there was one, No Hard Feelings on Netflix. That's a really good comedy right now.
I'm gonna check that out real quick.
Yeah, it's about I forgot the actress's name, but she's a woman in her 30s and she's down on her luck. She needs a new car because she drives for like Uber and the
Oh, is that
parents.
okay. Yeah. That was that one with Jennifer. Uh, what's her name?
Lawrence? Lawrence
Yeah,
or
Jennifer
something?
Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good movie. That's a really cool comedy. Like I haven't seen comedy like that in a while, like since like American Pie and all that.
Well,
But
Hangover.
yeah,
I think a lot of
Hangover.
people are saying like Hangover was a good comedy that came out.
Mhm.
that they stopped doing like that was their last like raunchy comedy they did because they did like 3 of them and they all broke the bank
Yeah.
going up. But
Yeah.
I've seen some like because nowadays a lot of people are saying like a lot of the comedy that is more short form, but there's a lot of long form comedy that people still watch. I mean, you got the specials, but a lot of the comedy movies that are coming out. I
Yeah.
mean, The
Like
Machine was the last one that came out. I'm kind of curious is what it because I don't know if it failed or not
mhm. Which
because
one?
The Machine.
I think it did good. It did good on a. It was in theaters and
Ugh.
it was pretty good. I liked it. It was pretty
Yeah, I
good.
liked it too, but it was budgeted for 20 million, which you can add like an extra 20 million. So its budget full for advertising and everything was about 40 million, and the box office only made like 10.7 million.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Dang. So yeah.
it's really bad because like I said, if when I get like into something, and I'll movies I'm into. That's the one thing that we became like uh that got us talking really a lot was like our obsession with like movies and stuff.
Heck
But
yeah.
I'll like deep dive. It's like 13 Warrior was a box office failure. I love that movie.
The 13th Warrior.
Yeah, with
The one with
Antonio
yeah. Yeah, that was a
and
good movie. That was pretty good.
but it was a flop. I didn't know it was a flop.
Sometimes that's what happens, like with some movies, like Grandma's Boy.
Oh, dude, that was a great movie.
Yeah, like, but it didn't do good in theaters until like it got back. Like that was actually still able to get money from I think
DVD sales at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, DVDs and everything. Yeah, like Blockbuster was maybe still going on
Yes,
whenever that came out. So they were still able to get like rental, making money from how often it got rented. So
it's so hard to find that movie though. That's what's really strange.
oh, think right now, I think it's on a Hulu. You can get on Hulu pretty good, easy
Yeah.
right now. But yeah,
Or
that was a
or
good.
uh, what was that other movie that uh Happy Medicine did? It was about them trying to find Bigfoot,
But them trying to find Bigfoot.
Wild Things or something like that.
Well, dang it. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. They're like a film crew or whatever, and they're like going out there
Yeah.
to go look for. I forgot the name. I didn't
I'm
get to
looking
watch it though.
right now. There's a lot of movies that they put out, but they never I never made headway. Like the Ridiculous 6. That was a good movie. I like
Yeah,
that. It only went on Netflix.
Taylor Lautner was funny in that movie. Like
Yes.
he was funny. I didn't like the Joe Dirt Part Two, the sequel to Joe Dirt. I think they should have kept it like not making a sequel for that movie.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, I was trying to watch it and I was like, man, this is not working. I don't like the story. I didn't even finish it. I was like, man, you should have kept it like this the first. Um, what's another good movie?
Humvee
Was it-
Halloween. That was a good movie. A lot of
Oh
people
yeah,
didn't like that one.
heck yeah. I like Adam Sandler's serious movies, like Uncut Gem.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty
He had
good.
another one. He had another one that it was a Sandy Wexler. That was another one of his that was it was more of a comedy type thing, but it was more Strange Wilderness was the movie I was talking about.
Oh, okay, heck yeah.
For Bigfoot. But yeah, a lot of Sandy Wexler was another one where he's like a talent manager, but by the end of the movie, uh he was really good at his job. He was like really horrible at the end, or at the beginning, and then he became really valuable.
Yeah.
Here's one that's not a lot of people have seen, but it's really good, and it has a lot of references from the 80s. Is Breaking In. It was a short-lived TV series. I watched it. It only did like, I think the first season only did like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
The second season did like 13. It wasn't very much, but the best reference I have on that is like, how did you get you did some like Jedi mind trick to those guys, because he did the Star Wars, "This isn't the boy you're looking for. Move
Yeah.
along."
These are, yeah.
And he goes up, he's like, "Man, you did some Jedi mind trick stuff on those guys. How'd you do that? You're like," because the boss is considered he does like super spy stuff,
Uh-huh.
and it seems like he's like a super wizard. But he goes up, he's like, "How did you do that super mind trick stuff?" And he's like, "Oh, they just saw the butt of my Glock."
But yeah, they're not gonna ask questions right now.
Yeah.
You see this blood on my Glock? I'm not. Yeah, let him go. Let him go.
Yeah, it's like
Let-
picking a fight with a person that has cauliflower ears.
I know you got to look out for that. Like, yeah,
Yeah, that's the first thing I look at, because someone's like, and what's really strange is the people that have those ears. Everybody's like, "Oh, they're gonna beat you up no matter what." It's like, dude, those are the easiest talking people you could possibly talk to,
yeah, they're
because they
cool
already
guys.
know they can do the violence.
Yeah, yeah, they're cool people. Because like they ain't got nothing to prove, but like they're generally really nice people.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I met because I hang out with a lot of fighters. Now, there's only one that I will not mess with, and I did an episode on him because he was a serial killer. He killed like 4 people.
Dang.
Yeah, there's some of them you got to watch out for. But no,
Yeah.
I people that do MMA and everything, I'll talk to them and we have a good conversation. But you can feel the switch in the conversation that just by looking at him, it's like, I'm about to. Then you see him like calm down. He's like, it's so funny because you see him just their face going from optimum rage and about to rip somebody apart.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see them like doing the calculations of the jail time that they're probably gonna have to do if they beat the shit out of this person. And like,
Yeah.
not worth it. And you just see him like fully changed. He's like, not worth it. Let's go. I'm like,
Yeah.
I saw that. I literally saw the whole thing in your head, and that kind of scared me a little bit.
For real. No, yeah, you can definitely tell. Like, there's people that know like the consequences of what would happen because they know what they can do, and they're like, man, yeah, it's not worth it. Like, especially being trained. You're trained like how to do stuff. Like, yeah, it definitely they put that against you when in court. They're like, yeah, you're trained. You're a weapon. You can't be.
I only had like an instance. Well, I've had a couple of instances because I still do a little bit of martial arts, but not as much as I used to do as a kid.
Yeah.
And I had a buddy of mine. He's like, "Oh, you're so nice and everything like that." But one day, I don't know why, he was like, I wanna see your mental. You keep on talking that you do martial arts and everything like that." I was like, It's my birthday. Give me a good birthday punch like everybody else."
Uh,
He was on the ground, almost ready to throw up because I just did a quick jab. And
yeah.
he was like, "Where did that come from? God, I hate you so much." I was like, dude, just breathe. You can breathe. I just give you a quick jab to your diaphragm. It punched all the air out of your lungs. You're just gonna
Yeah.
have to get that back. And I talked him through it. He's like, I didn't know that. It was like, there's a reason why I tell people that it's not to boast. It's just to make sure you know your place.
Yeah.
After that, I didn't have any problems with them. Anytime I was like, you meet a friend and everything. You do that whole jab
Yeah.
thing, getting ready to hug him and everything. He's like,
Yeah.
dude, he's like, man, I peed a little bit every time you do that.
Well, like, yeah, you know how to concentrate that power to just be like, bam, like pinpoint it and everything. Do that
Yeah,
Bruce Lee punch, though, the 1 inch
1
punch
inch
and
punch.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the snap that gets the person.
Yeah.
I've practiced that punch. It's pretty effective just to show the fullness of your power. Because I mean, you see me. You're a little bit smaller than me, but you got some. You got a little bit of heft on you. It would take me a good minute, and I probably just wore you out just by running. Of course, I probably wear myself out because I'm a heavy
Yeah.
smoker.
No, you got me, man. I'm pretty sure you kick my ass, man. I'm a teddy bear. I'm I'm just a weightlifter, man. I wear myself out way too fast in a fight.
You
Like
know,
I know I gotta get you down real quick if I have to, you know. Otherwise, I'm tired. I'm tired. Like
get me down real quick. It really
yeah.
freaked me out. Get me down real quick. It's like this is where the fun begins.
Oh, dang, dang.
Oh man, but I had you on for 2 hours and you're yawning, so I'll go ahead and we'll just cut this and call it a day. Thank you for coming on, Greg. And what shows where are you going to be at for the next couple of month? We'll just go with a month.
Okay, well, right now this month I'm gonna be kind of like concentrating here in San Angelo, Texas. Me and Chris, we're gonna be doing a show. It's at a pizza place, Lily's Pizza in San Angelo, Texas. We're gonna get like a group of 2 other comedians are gonna come out there. We've kind of been really promoting this. We're expecting a really big crowd out there. It's
I
gonna be
mean,
real
food,
fun.
comedy. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, for real.
Just make sure you have some people that have like CPR stuff. So if somebody's choking because they're laughing so hard, and they
Exactly.
stupidly took a bite of pizza.
Exactly. I made sure that we're gonna get paid in pizza. So I was like, heck yeah, we're gonna tear it up out there. But actually, then the next day, I'm going to be doing another show in San Angelo at Wandering Minds Brewery. It's a real cool place. We've done quite a bit of shows out there already, and we always get a big crowd. So hopefully, this is going to be on the 23rd, and the other one's on the 24th. So Friday and
February.
Saturday. Yeah. So hopefully those 2 days, real big crowds. I'm really excited about those shows right now. And I'm not gonna do anything else till May, probably. I gotta concentrate on my on work right now, but I'm building up a lot of shows in May, so hopefully everything goes through real good.
Okay. All right, buddy. That's Greg Duran comedy. Thank you all for
Yeah,
showing
yeah.
up, and have a good day.
Hey man, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.